We're back again at Average at Best Cornhole, and today we got some more Underworld bags, and they make some great quality ACL stamp bags. And if you know from our previous videos, we love the pricing that these guys offer. We're going to talk about that quite a bit, and we're going to go over the difference between we got the Oaks and the Clones today.
Yeah, the Clones are basically a clone of a Viper R, so I mean that's going to be a familiar bag.
Yep.
And the Oaks, they're a fast bag, but we didn't really think they played as fast as they should have been, but we'll get into a little bit more detail on that. So we'll jump right into the designs with scorings, and we're going to give them a 1.5 bagger.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the American theme, patriotic, yes. The Clone, I think that's just the stock design. It's not that great.
Yeah.
Underworld, I mean, these bags, we've had these for a while.
Yep.
Underworld does have a few better designs on their website, but I think they're more about making great bags than they are, making cool-looking bags.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Nothing bad, but, nothing. We're not going to buy these bags for what's printed on them, not yet at least. So I will say that, that American print was kind of a big hit this past holiday when they were out, at camp on the over the 4th. So good time to pull them out then. Availability, these are both readily available on their website. Like we said, there's a bunch of, different prints now, some that are a little bit better than the ones we purchased. So, just check them out if you're interested in them. You should be able to get your hands on them, no problem.
So that leads us into the cost of scoring, and Underworld, you're getting that 4-bagger, right? Yeah. $55 plus shipping, but if you order a couple sets at once, the shipping's still the same.
Right.
So you can essentially get 2 sets of bags for $120, and that's amazing.
From what I've seen, I think these are the best priced stamped bags on the market right now.
Right, yeah, they do. They have an ACL stamp on them.
Yeah.
Not that that means anything to us, but it's more of a peace of mind thing for other people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. People like to, throw what the pros are throwing, or if they want to start getting into competitions, they want to be playing bags that, they're going to be allowed to take in there. But at the end of the day, that price is amazing. Keep it up, Underworld. We're huge fans of anything under $100, and you crushed that.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
So, round
way
of
under
applause.
100, yes. So a little bit about Underworld. It is a smaller run company. I believe one guy is the one sewing all the bags. He does have a website, www.underworldcornhole.com. There's a Facebook page, which is just at Underworld Cornhole. Yeah. And then they have a group that Underworld actually runs. It's this Underworld Bags fan page. Yeah. So look them up, hop on their website and check out their podium program. They actually do something neat. I'm not going to get into a lot of details on that. But essentially, if you record yourself playing their bags, like regionals or other events, you win free bags from them. So that's another cool thing. You're selling affordable bags.
Right.
And then there's an opportunity to win free bags. Break-in method on these bags was a little different. For the Clones, they don't need much. It's like every other, that fabric combination, just the warm water soak, massage, and all that, like Underworld suggests on their website. I tried that with the Oaks. It wasn't enough. And, I mean, we've had these bags since November of last year, November of 2023. And we've been playing them sporadically this whole time and just could never get them broken in.
All right, so get into the speeds on these bags. The Oaks are 9.7s is what they're rated on the website.
Yes.
Don't think we experienced 7 speeds out of them, right?
I didn't think so. No.
Maybe that was a struggle breaking them in. I don't know. But I didn't feel that either. They were, probably more to a 6. To me, they weren't as fast as I was expecting, but they were more controllable than a lot of other bags that we've played with that have that 7 slow side rating. So, kind of a mixed experience there.
Yeah, and then the Clones, I mean, that's just standard 5.5, 9. Yeah. Which you'd see on, that material combination.
Yeah, we agree with that. I mean, it's probably one of the most common materials out there, and it's pretty consistent across the board, regardless of the bag manufacturer. Those speeds are right where they say they are.
So speaking of the materials, Underworld actually calls this slow side an active fabric. He does not call it a carpet at all. I kind of like that term. I don't know if it's going to catch on, and I'll start calling other hybrid materials active fabrics, but I will call his an active fabric. They both share the same fast side, which is that common Viper, Deadhead, Pro Sniper fast side. But the Oaks, I don't know about this slow side. It just seems different, and it doesn't seem like all the other 7-speed bags that we've held.
It feels, I don't know, maybe thicker.
Fuzzier
for sure. It's got a softer touch to it.
Yeah.
And that's why we weren't getting the speeds of 7 out of it. Template's pretty much the same template on both bags. We feel like the Clones, those materials do stretch a little bit. As we know, we've seen it on a lot of other bags. I think there might be a slight thickness variation on the Clones, a little bit bigger than the Oaks. even after the stretch.
Yeah, it's plus it's probably got a lot to do with fill. I know that the Oaks has a lot more flat fill in it when the clones have his tri-blend mixture or whatever it is. So that probably adds to the thickness. So we touched on fill a little bit. We'll just get into flop then. And the Oaks, not really floppy. Mm-hmm. The clones, pretty floppy.
Yeah.
Not as floppy as what they're cloning, right? I mean, it's smaller template, a little bit fuller, but it's still a pretty floppy bag.
Still pretty floppy, but still has a good hand feel.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's how I always gauge, flopness to me is how it feels in my hand. And, they're not as floppy as a broken in Viper. That's for sure.
Not at all.
I don't care to play those when they're too broken in. We've played a lot with these clones, and hand feel still feels great to me. They're not too floppy. They're close. They're right on the edge where I like them, but they're not overly floppy.
So that's what's going to separate them from the Viper R then. Yep. They're not as floppy, not as large, and they have that tri-blend mixture, as Viper R is all flat fill. So this is going to be a little bit more active than a Viper R is.
Well, and it has the active fabric. So
yes, that you can't let out the active fabric.
Getting into the bagmanship on these, no complaints whatsoever. It looks like great quality bags. All the ends are tied off good. No, loose strings hanging or anything like that. We've seen on some other bags, which is excellent for the price point.
Yeah, I mean, the bags are excellent, right? And you're only paying $55 for them. That's awesome. But, I mean, you'd expect that from a smaller company, though, right? I mean, the guy, appreciates, he wants to put a good product in his customers' hands, and it shows by how well these bags are made. Yeah,
we've kind of seen that a few times with the smaller companies just really driving home the quality.
It's time for our slide up, and as always, we're going to start with forgiveness. The Oaks, pretty darn forgiving bag, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what that bag's made for, with the flat fill and, a little bit faster, so it's going to be super forgiving. The clones, I did get a few on-one kicks that I didn't know about. It's still a forgiving bag. It's just not the most forgiving bag I've ever thrown, right?
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. I think both bags are pretty forgiving. The Oaks definitely, are more so. So a more beginner player is going to have more success with the Oaks than the clones, but either way, they're both where you want them to be, especially as an average player. Get into the whole bodiness on these. I'll talk about the Oaks first. If you're sliding up into the hole, great. They go right into the hole. Maybe it's because we had so much trouble breaking them in, but I plugged a lot more holes than I wanted to with the Oaks, so I was a little bit surprised by that. So they don't have the whole bodiness I expected with a 7-speed rated bag. I mean, if you get those ones that swing around the back, they were still, grabbing the edge, coming around the back, and then falling in. But I don't know, just something about them.
It's a stiffer bag.
Yeah.
You can't get it unstiff, I don't think.
Apparently not.
And then the clones, I mean, those things are whole bodies for sure.
Yep.
Especially with that tri-blend fill or whatever. If you get it close to the hole, it's falling in.
Yeah, absolutely. They had no issues. Some that I even thought were just going to hang on the edge, they went in. I was like, okay.
So, I'll take that one.
Yeah, very pleased with the whole bodiness on the clones.
So collectability, again, we're going to start with the Oaks on these. And I don't know when you're going to have an instance where you're going to collect these bags, right? You're not purposely putting up blockers or whatever. Right. Maybe if you hit the front of the board and you got one down to like a level 3, level 4 blocker, I mean, I think you could get that all the way up into the hole.
If you can hit it.
Yeah, a few times. So, but I didn't think they were best collectibles.
No, I didn't. That's where I mentioned earlier, to where I kept plugging holes, to where I did put up a few accidental blockers with that, and when I tried to collect, they would just kind of move together in front of the hole, and then nobody was going in after that. They kept plugging up. So I don't rate these very good at all on the collectability. Mm-hmm. Now the clones, they're a little different on that aspect.
The clones are a good bag.
Yeah. I had no issues collecting. I was able to put up blockers with those and zero issue grabbing them. They tend to do what I like. I don't know if there's a term for it out there or anything, but they just kind of grab each other and they just turn into a snowball and just, it seems like they just go towards the hole once they kind of get in that snowball effect, and these clones were doing very well at that. So the speed consistency on these bags, the clone, we know that active fabric side very well, so very consistent with the speeds. I mean, it's one of the best materials out there for that. The Oaks, as we said, they're not as fast as they're rated, at least in our experience, and that was even on some of our faster boards.
Oh, yeah. During the day, hot sun, too.
Yeah, so. Much more affected by the humidity or dew or anything setting on the board.
Leads us to capable shots, and the clones, I guess they have the full arsenal of capable shots, but I wouldn't choose that bag to do the full arsenal, right? Does that make any sense?
It does, yeah.
Like, it is definitely way better at running holes, setting blockers, moving around, collecting your bag.
Yeah.
Can someone roll that? Probably. But I don't think anybody that rolls bags is going to say, hey, I want to play those clones so I can roll them.
Right, yeah, I wouldn't think so either. And they cut pretty well. They're not the best cutting bags out there. So if you're big into, hitting certain shots, if you're always, hitting the right side of the board to cut in, and that's how you're going into the hole each time, they're going to do all right at that, but they're not ideal for that situation. So they're probably kind of average at best of each of your capable shots.
That was a good one.
Yeah, other than just
even though they have the active fill and the active fabric,
right. Yep.
They are more of a hole runner because they'll actively fall in that hole if you get it close to it.
Now, one thing I will kind of give the Oaks a nod to for his capable shots, and that was airmails. I was actually hitting some pretty good airmails with those, and I think it's just because it that firmer feel and stuff. I just, it was more like throwing a frisbee at the hole than.
I've never judged a bag by airmails.
Me neither, but I was nailing them with that bag, and I remember saying, I'm like, wow, I was like, I can't seem to miss an airmail with these, and I honestly think it was that nice firm, feel. The bags just had a good hand feel when I was, throwing an airmail. So could have just been that day. Could have been me. I don't know.
What if you think about it? If the bag's more intact when you throw, you have a better chance of hitting your target.
Yeah.
Like beads, shifting in the middle of your throw or something.
So might have been something to it. Might have been me. Either way, I experienced that. So I'm going with it.
So we're going to end it all with our final thoughts and give our scoring on these bags. And we talked about it. We kind of agree. Clones, they're getting a 3-bagger.
Yep.
Oaks, they're only getting a 1.5-bagger.
Yeah. Kind of disappointing because you guys, Craig, I was super excited for those Oaks bags. They're right up my alley, and just something about them, I just never got comfortable with them, and I never, the excitement I had for them never came into, fruition.
Right, and I will say, I mean, I gave it a 1.5-bagger. It was still worth $55 to try them out. Yeah. And then also, I mean, we had a lot of people playing cornhole over the weekend.
Yep.
And there was a lot of people gravitating to those bags.
That's true. And a lot of the people that liked them, they don't play as much as we do. They're much more your weekend warrior only type players.
Yes.
So there might be something to that. And, me and Craig may be at the point where we're looking for something different out of the bags. But the guys that I seen throwing it and the gals, they were doing pretty well with it.
And I think they got better too.
Yeah. All right. So how will these bags make the average play better? I think the clones are kind of an easy one to figure out. It's still a very forgiving bag, but, opens up the arsenal to doing different shots rather than just trying to slide in the holes.
The Oaks, how will they make you better? They're going to make your PPR better, I guess, if you could throw that bag, because, it's just made to run in the hole, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you may struggle against a dirty game or something like that, but like we said earlier, we've seen our weekend warrior friends at camp playing those and having a lot of good success with them. Where they're struggling to throw these hybrid bags and things like that, they're picking bags up like this and they're doing a lot better. It's boosting their confidence.
So I want to know, are they worth the cost?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, 55. That's a tall ask, right?
They're worth the cost. Absolutely. Like we said earlier, probably the best value with a stamp bag that you're going to find from these Underworld guys. So.
And Underworld does have other series out, too.
Yep.
When we got these bags, there was only 3 or 4 series out. But he has, your herringbones. He has the other hybrid materials. Yep. He has, medium speed bags, slow bags, whatever. Right. So go check them out.
Yeah, and the pricing seems to be consistent with
it for every bag.
So,
it's the same price.
Some companies we see, they're using this fabric and the price goes way up for some reason. Underworld seems to have that in check, and he's just kind of got a flat price across the board with no matter what bag you're getting from him, which, again, big thumbs up for us.
He said his goal is to put out a quality bag at a cheap price, fair and simple, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I would say goal's been met, so now we're excited to see what he comes up with next. So, do we recommend him?
I recommend the clones.
Yeah.
Well, 100%. I like that bag. I've had that bag since November, right? So, and I've been throwing them ever since then.
Yeah, I've seen you pull those out as kind of a go-to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Several times to where it's just like, I don't know what bag, I don't know what my partner's going to want. You pull those out, and everything seems to work out. So,
yep.
The Oaks, we still recommend them. Know what you're buying when you buy them. If you're looking for, a bag that is a little faster than some of these hybrid materials and you want to start learning how to control something that's a little faster for the price point, I can recommend them in that situation.
I'll go with that.
Outside of that, if you're going to be average at something, might as well be average at cornhole.